Hi everyone, this might be my last video in this house with any luck. So I finally exchanged contracts on Wednesday just gone. It's now Friday. So I'm moving on Wednesday coming. So yay, very, very excited. I'm finally having a chance to have a drink to celebrate the fact because I've been working night shifts until now. So cheers everybody. And I thought that my final video here will be on my favourite house, my favourite indie house, and that is a 4,160 Tuesdays, because I have quite the collection now. I thought I'd share that with you. And also I'm going to save my 5 favourites from the house till last. So to start with, no particular order, and then I'm going to give you my 5 favourites at the end. So I think I need to get going because there's quite a lot here to get through. So let's just start with, I'm going to start with my 9 mils. So what's great about 4,160 Tuesdays is they do offer different sizes and they're quite affordable. So you can have a 9 mil, a 30 mil, a 50 mil, and 100 mil. So they are the sizes you can get, plus samples as well. So I think that's really great. Options are there. And I'm going to start with the 9 mils I've got. So this one is Le Jardin du Monsieur McGregor. This one is a fruity floral garden-like concoction. It's got some musky and earthy notes as well. It's very vibrant and fresh, but really different. I'm not going to dwell too long on anything because we are going to run out of time. So the next one I've got is, this is the sexiest scent on the planet ever. This is a parfum version. I think it's now called the sexiest scent on the planet. I'm not sure what it's called. It's got a slightly different name now, I think, but this is the parfum. So it's the extra strong version. It's kind of the same thing. The sexiest scent on the planet ever. The EDP is absolutely perfect, but I just wanted to try the parfum, so that's what I've got there. And it's bergamot in the opening, but it comes off almost lemon-like, but then there's underneath it, there's a rich, warm kind of vanilla cedar, almost peppery, woodsy thing. It's just pleasing. It's just so pleasing and so easy to wear and quite simple, so it layers with lots of things really nicely. If you want to sweeten something up, you can just layer it with the sexy scent on the planet. One of their most popular fragrances, I believe. It certainly used to be. This one's called Scent Enthusiasm, and to me, I can just describe it as a gin and tonic with cucumbers floating around in it. That is that to me. There's definitely a lot more ingredients. In fact, I know this is one that's quite expensive for the brand to make. They've got some very expensive ingredients. It's kind of sharp and bitter, but to me it's very much a gin and tonic with cucumber. Very, very refreshing. This one's Goodbye Piccadilly. This is a lavender vanilla musks. There's kind of like a sharp freshness in the opening. It's really, really interesting, this one. It changes on your skin. It takes you on a journey. It kind of feels a little bit melancholy. It has a kind of sadness and a coolness to it. Really interesting though. And I think there's some violet as well. I really like that one. Goodbye Piccadilly. And then the last 9 mil. Actually, this kind of belongs in my final 5, but I'm going to show you it now. It's maxed out. This is the new version, so it's been reformulated. This was a collaboration with Maximilian Must Know. Max Huesler did a collab way back when, quite a few years ago, with 4160, and came out with Maxed Out, which is supposed to be reminiscent of his naughty days before he got sober. So you've got cocktails, the leather jacket he used to wear, joints he used to smoke, high class prostitutes, kind of like a sexy, to me it's a sexy sleepy smell. So you know when you smell someone's pillow, someone else's pillow, and it's got that musky smell from where they've been sleeping on it. It's got that in there. But it used to have a very noticeable cumin note, which is supposed to represent a little bit of body odor. That's now been much reduced. I'm not sure if it's completely removed, but it's certainly not that obvious to me anymore. And I used to feel like when I did wear the old version, I just had a small dabber. I just didn't feel safe to wear it out. It felt just a bit too dirty, like people might think I haven't washed. This, on the other hand, is much safer, but still retains the same original feel that I loved. There's also a bit of coconut in here. It gives it a really nice gritty kind of coconut texture. A really interesting one from the house, maxed out. I love it. This one's called Burnt Cedar Rainbow Doves. And this is a really smoky one. This is the smokiest one I've tried from the house. It's got some almond in it though. And it's got a sweetness to it. So it's smoky but sweet at the same time, but the sweetness is quite toned down. So it's not mega sweet at all. I can't tell you the notes, just that it's a really nice smoke. It's not too dry, and doesn't make your throat go dry, if that makes any sense. It's got other things that balance that smoke out. Kind of woody and cozy and wintry. So that's Burnt Cedar Rainbow Doves. And then in the same line is called Drive Them Wild. Drive Them Wild. And this to me is very much an orange and vanilla. Orange, I think there's orange blossom, but it's very orangey and vanillic. Just very nice. If you like Xerjoff Lyra, it's in that general ballpark. So a lovely vanillic orange blossom fragrance. Red Queen. This is a collaboration with Saint Bon, and this one is a rose fragrance. It's a bit of spice. It's actually better than I remember. It's almost a red wine kind of smell to it. It's a really interesting rosy, not rosy but really different fragrance. I need to retry that. I've not worn it in quite a long time, and I feel like it's matured and it's actually smelling better than I recall. So that's a nice one. This one's called Parallel, and this one I sprayed here. I can't quite figure it out. So this is a blind buy. I got it because it was cheap. It was in the sale. By the way, if you go to the 160 Tuesdays news Facebook group, you'll find out everything that's going on, and there are so often sales and great deals and new releases, and the naughty cupboard, which is various things that get put up for cheap, plus there's people that buy and sell and swap the 160 fragrances. All it's run by the brand, but it's all fine with Sarah. She's happy for you to, if you've got something you want to sell or swap, she's happy for you to do that on the group. So it's brilliant if you happen to do a blind buy that doesn't work out for you. It's very easy to get someone to buy it or swap it out. So Parallel, I don't know what the notes are. It's slightly weird. It's kind of violety, woody, but in a really, almost like you're on acid, and then you smell violets and woods, and then they're all like weird, and they're all abstract and weird. It's not quite me. I'm not even sure. I don't know. I'm saying violets and woods. I really don't know what the notes are, but it's just not quite me. So I'll be going on the group and switching that one out. And we have here Tiger, which is the one with Kristen from Beauty Miel YouTube channel. So this is a strange one. It's a leather jasmine, but to me there's some kind of alcoholic drink in here, but I can't quite figure out what it is. Almost like reminds me a little bit of a cough syrup that I used to have when I was younger. It's very unusual. It's probably not for me. Might be interesting if you like leather and jasmine combo. So here we have this is a funny one. This is Amber Woods for Men Intense. Not intense as in deep and intense, but as in camping. So Amber Woods for Men Intense. Tense. So this is kind of born of a misunderstanding. One of Sarah McCartney's friends thought that a fragrance, I think it was Dior Homme Intense, I think she thought that the intense was the intense as in camping. So anyway, they decided to, I think they made a fragrance and then decided to call it that out of fun. And this is it. This is another blind buy for me. I sprayed it on my knee earlier to remind myself. This is the most masculine one, I would say, in my collection, even though despite it being called for men, Intense, it's actually supposed to be completely unisex. However, it does feel a little more. I'm going to smell my knee because that's where I sprayed it. Did I? Yeah. It's kind of a light, musky, woodsy, very fresh, kind of natural smelling, outdoorsy actually, which kind of fits with the being intense. But yet once again, probably not completely my thing, bit more masculine, so I might end up switching that one. And then we have, I just got this one, so it's called What I Did on My Holidays. This is a fun fragrance. This is kind of an aquatic, it's got sea notes and seaweed, but it's also got, it's basically by the sea in the UK. So if you go on a seaside holiday in the UK, it's the smells that you'll get. So you get this, obviously the smell of the sea and the seaweed, but you'll get the sweet smells of ice cream parlours and mint rock, which is, if you're not familiar, those sticks of candy that are mint flavoured, kind of like a boiled sweet but in a stick. And it's got that in here, so it's quite minty. And it also has some lavender and some candy floss. So it is literally, it's almost like an olfactory snapshot of an old English traditional seaside holiday. Fun, fun, fun. Really love this. A very frivolous fragrance. I would probably save it for very fun, frivolous days with friends, etc. But I really like that. Pillow Talk. This one, I've had this one quite a long time and I have almost used it up. That's the 30ml. This is a beautiful fragrance, very, very nose pleasing. Nothing difficult to understand here. It feels like it has a little bit of the sexy scent in there. It's got that kind of freshness and the sweetness from the vanilla and that just very pleasing woodsy notes. But there is some florals and some fruits. I don't know what the notes are. I have forgotten. I can't remember if this is the one with yuzu in it or not. But it is just really, really beautiful. It might be jasmine. I think it might be jasmine, but it's not a heavy jasmine if it is. It's very light and airy, but it's still noticeable. So it's light and airy in that it's dissipating around you very nicely, but it's not thick and heavy. Really love that one. Oh, so good. So now we are on to my 5, well actually my last 5, really my favourites should include Maxed Out, but I've already told you about that. So now I have 4. And these are my absolute favourites from the house. And we'll start with the newest one, which is Clouds. So I actually bought Clouds Illusion and I got it in the Parfum, and that one's a 30ml there. Comes with a nice little card. And I also got the Eau de Toilette. Now with your orders of Clouds or Clouds Illusion, you get samples of the opposite version. So the Illusion has the most expensive ingredients in the composition. In Clouds Illusion are actually swapped out for synthetics, so the fragrances are cheaper because the Narcissus and the Orris and the vanilla in here are synthetic. In the Clouds they are real, so the fragrance is more expensive, but whatever you buy you get a sample of the opposite version to test and decide whether you think it's worth it to pay for the more expensive ingredients. So I'm still testing. There are mild differences between the one with the real expensive ingredients and the Clouds Illusion, but I'm really happy. I mean, look at the dent I've made in that, and that is literally, well, I think it's been a month, not even a month, and I've used that much of the Parfum and that much of the eau de parfum. So what is going on in Clouds? It's very lemony in the opening, lemony but sweet, not bitter, not sour, but also not sugary. So somehow it's sweet without being sugary, almost like a lemon sorbet. And I think that's, I think it's lemon and bergamot, and that's to kind of replicate sunshine. But then you have iris, which kind of adds a grey blue hue to things and is more about maybe the sky and the actual clouds. It's the vanilla just adds a hint of sweetness. It's not a mega vanilla-y fragrance. It's not a blatantly vanilla-y fragrance at all. I wouldn't, if I was doing a list of fragrances that contain vanilla, I wouldn't be thinking to put this one in there particularly. It just has this almost ozonic or earth-like feel, but not like you're smelling wet dirt, just like you're smelling sort of the slightly metallic, slightly mineral likeness of the earth, but the sunshine, bergamot and lemon does remain for the most part of the fragrance. It's just a beautiful combination of something very bright and then something a little more down to earth, and just a lovely warm kind of base to it really. So I do really like that, still getting to know it, but very, very nice. So then I'm going to save my very favourite till last. So the next one is Shazam. And there we go. I wear this one in the colder months because it has this real kind of Christmassy feel to me. It reminds me a little bit of mulled wine. It's kind of spicy and it's a bit like mulled wine or even sangria. It's a bit fruity. The dry down is stunning, and that's where I fall in love because it's got this sticky labdanum base. It's almost like caramelized labdanum. It is absolutely beautiful. You don't notice it straight away. You have to wait for it, but it's worth the wait. It's absolutely stunning. So I love Shazam. It's so cozy. And then we have, this one is Rome 1963. That's the 100 ml, as you can see, not much left. And this one has been adopted by my friend Cheryl. I took it on holiday and she loved it so much. She now wears it all the time. She got her own bottle. In fact, I think she's got through a couple of bottles of it now. I don't wear it quite so often now, but I do still love it. It's a musky floral. There's some tuberose in there, but it's not too heavy or that strong. There's a hint of chocolate, there's lots of musks, it's very cozy and sensual. Really, really crowd pleasing, really nice fragrance, but different, doesn't smell like anything else. So I like that one a lot. And then my favourite one. This has been a recent rediscovery. I hadn't worn it for a long time, and then I chose to wear it the other day and fell head over heels back in love with it, and I've worn it quite a few times since. Centerpiece. This one is beautiful. It has a green tea note, frangipani. It's kind of musky and fuzzy and almost suede-like. It's soft and fluffy. Just gives you this beautiful textured aura of fucking gorgeousness. It almost smells a bit like ginger biscuits as well. It's so hard to explain this fragrance, but it is so nice, so nice. Got a compliment on it just the other day. It's definitely a crowd-pleasing fragrance, and I will be looking to replace that one once we get a little bit nearer the end because I really do love it. So I think that is all of them. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that next time I see you, I'll be in my new house. Let's just say another cheers. Cheers to me, moving finally. Definitely a lot happier now. See you all in the next video.